Happy Friday. We are coming off a nice 3-0 sweep, and we got a huge 7-game slate. Let's talk some basketball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we are back, and I got a smile on my face. That's right. 2 good days in a row, 2-1 on Wednesday, 3-0 sweep on Thursday. Gotta love it. We'll go over the recap in just a little bit. But quick reminder, the NFL Week 15 game bets and trends video, that is out now. We are absolutely rolling the NFL. Let's keep it going. But before we get anything, we got a website shout out. That's right. Thank you for joining the website, the new hub of this channel at BLK Buck Rogers. Appreciate it. If you guys have not seen it yet, we have put a ton of work into this, and we're making adjustments and changes every single day to make this as good as possible. We're excited. We're fired up about it. Here's everything you get for it. You could use that promo code over there on the right, Jabo Xmas. You get 1 free month, or you just get a 1-year membership at a discounted price at $150 a year if you want that. But email notifications right when I post a bet. All the premium betting tools that I've talked about over and over. It's in a 12-minute video on our YouTube page as well. Then website, the Discord. There's no more Discord. People have been asking about it, but there's no more Discord. We have the chat rooms on this website, and I'm there every night. We're talking sports, bets, sweating it out together, all that kind of stuff. So come join us. And then weekend research slides might be coming. You guys have been asking for that since I don't do weekend videos. And then betting contest coming soon as well. So that's what we got. That's the new Jabo Hub. That's just a betoutside.com. So go join when you get a chance. But here we go. Let's get it rolling now. And that means it is time for a dad joke. What did Simba say to the slow bus driver? Mufasa. Mufasa. You get it? I try to say it right. Anyways, in this video, we're going to recap yesterday, and then we're going to talk defenses versus the centers. And then because it's Friday, we did net ratings last week. Today, we are going to do against the spread and over-under numbers. We got some surprising things to look at here for you guys that like to bet spread, totals, things like that. I'm going to give you my 3 leans, my best bets, and then, of course, we'll finish it with the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below to help this channel continue to grow. Also, hit that hype button if you're on mobile. It really helps this channel. And if you're new to the channel, come join us. You got to join us. You just have to do it. Hit that subscribe button. We talk MLB, NBA, NFL all year around. Let's get it rolling. And that means it's recap time. There it is. 3 beautiful green check marks. Jamal Murray over 6.5 dimes. How about a first half cash on that one? That was beautiful. Derek Queen over 27.5 PRAs. This was the sweaty bet of the night. Holy smokes. He had 22 after 3 quarters. He actually kind of struggled in the first half. Not him necessarily. It was Sadiq Bey and Jordan Poole chucking up a shot every time they crossed half court. It was insane. But then he had a good third quarter, had 22 after 3 quarters, and then luckily got 3 in the last 2-3 minutes. Credit to the head coach for leaving the starters in a blowout. That was huge, and he cashes for us the 1-unit play. Kuzma under 7.5 RAs, 0 assists. I think he ended up with 5 or 6 rebounds. You know, obviously I knew it'd get a little sweaty just because you're at 7.5, but we get the job done. Nice winner there. So that's what we got for the under tracker, under player props, 28 and 22, 73 and 73 on the year, now up 1.72 units. So that's what we got for the recap. Now let's talk the big men. All right, we start with the defenses, giving up the most points to the center position. This is now the last 15 games that we're tracking. If the team or players in green, that means they're playing today. No official top 10 matchups here. But you see the Kings, Wizards, Pacers, Bulls, Pelicans, top 5, and giving up the most points to the big men. And then centers, you know who's up there. Jokic, Wet Bananas is due back soon. He's averaging 28.5 this year. Porzingis is up there, but he is actually out on Friday, just so you guys know. Alex Sara, I believe, is also out. It's hard to keep up with these injuries, but they are up there in case for when they do come back. Okongwu, Anthony Davis, Jalen Duren as well. So that's what we got for the points. Let's take a look at the rebounds. We got one matchup here. The Warriors facing Rudy Gobert, averaging 10 rebounds per game. Warriors giving up 15.5 to the center position. And then there's all the rest of the guys and teams that are playing today. Wizards always up there when it comes to centers or anything around the paint and giving up the most. But that's what we got for that. Now let's check out the assists. And we got some lines here, guys. Again, it's centers and assists. So, this should be a part of your handicap. It's kind of a weird stat a little bit, except for if you're Jokic or, Wet Bananas or Şengün, because you're averaging a ton. Even Derek Queen, great passing big man, by the way, especially for a rookie. But Grizzlies facing Nurkic, 4.4 assists per game. Grizzlies, 5.5. Hornets facing Vucevic down there. And then the Mavericks facing Nick Claxton. How about 5.2 assists per game for him in the last 15 games? So That's what we got. If you like any overs, how about some unders? These are the toughest center matchups in the NBA. You wouldn't think it heading into the year, but the Lakers giving up the fewest points per game and the second fewest rebounds per game to the center position. Not playing today, so it doesn't really help you today at least. But you see the Pistons also seventh and fewest points allowed, third and fewest rebounds allowed, and fourth and fewest assists allowed. And then there's all the rest of the teams playing today as well. So that's what we got for the centers. Now let's take a look inside the lines. All right, we talked the 10 best teams against the spread at home this year. Now, if you see ATS plus minus, there's a little definition for you over there. Average amount of points that the team actually covers the spread by. But the New York Knicks, how about 13-1 ATS at home? In case you didn't know that, they are dominating at Madison Square Garden. Suns 9-3 ATS. Again, they're at +6. Also with the Knicks at +6.5. So crushing the line by quite a bit. Spurs 7-3-1. Jazz 9-4. As you guys know, the Jazz are bad, but you know what? When they're at home, they are a good cover team. That is for sure. Blazers, Heat, Pelicans, Pacers, Warriors, and the Celtics round it out. So that's what we got for the 10 best home ATS teams. Now let's take a look at the 10 best ATS teams on the road here. How about the 76ers? 7-2 at +5.0, covering the spread by 5 points per game. Rockets 9.3. Lakers playing really well away from home at 9-4 as well. Hawks, Nuggets, so on and so on. Even the Nets are in here at 6-4-1. So that's what we got for the ATS teams. Now let's take a look at some over-unders here. The best over team here is the Los Angeles Lakers. How about that? 17-7 to the over. As you can see, total plus minus. Plus means that's how much they're going over the total by, and the minus is how much they're going under the total by. But you got the Denver Chicken Nuggets there. Wizards, Blazers, Jazz, not a surprise there. Pelicans, Rockets, even with a good defense, are going over 12-8-1 for the most part. And then we move over to the unders. How about this? No one saw this coming. The Memphis Grizzlies 16-8 to the under. That's why it's opposite 8-16. And they're going under by quite a bit, 5.1 points per game. The Hornets also a team going under. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then Pacers, Nets, Mavericks, so on and so on. Even the Bulls snuck into the top 10 with that fast pace as one of the top 10 under teams in the NBA. So that's what we got for a little peek inside the lines. Now let's talk some leans. All right, I got 3 leans to go over before we get into the best bets. And I may add 1 or 2 of these. But the first one, Pacers +7.5 at the 76ers. Pacers has actually been playing better basketball lately. Not saying they're elite or anything, but they're getting healthier, which is a part of it. Nesmith is probably going to be out this game, though. But last 7 games, Pacers, how about the 8th best net rating in the NBA? I know it's wild stuff. They beat the Bulls twice, beat the Wizards, I know, beat the Kings, did lose to the Cavs and Nuggets. But with Nembhard, Mather, and Siakam all healthy now, this is a much more competitive team. Facing the Sixers, their average net rating last 7 games. Embiid is expected to play. It can help them offensively, but it's at his where he's at right now, they also makes them worse defensively, slower. He's not exactly some huge rim protector right now with his health. So 76ers at home, 6-8 ATS. Pacers 5-6 ATS on the road. But again, Pacers had like nobody healthy for quite a while this year. So overall, I just think it's too many points. 76ers are not a team that can just blow out people very often. I think the Pacers will get some offense going here. I think Matherin could have a good game as well. So I like the Pacers plus a big 7.5. Second one, this might be my favorite lean. Under 234.5 Bulls Hornets. If you guys don't know, these are big time under teams lately. Last 10 games, Hornets are under this line in 7 of the last 8. Their average total score in the last 8 games for the Hornets, a very low 222. The Bulls are now under this line in 4 of their last 5 games as well. Average total score in their last 5 games, 220 per game. Last 7 games, Bulls have the worst offensive rating in the entire NBA. It just hasn't been pretty for them offensively. Hornets 6th worst offensive rating. So these are 2 of the bottom 6 worst offenses right now, and we're getting a 234.5. It's high. Not to mention LaMelo and Sexton are both out. These are the 2 fast-paced. They run the engine here for the Hornets. They score. They get to the rim. That's going to slow their pace down and obviously make the scoring a lot harder. So missing those 2. I don't honestly see this one getting that close. I may add this and put it in the pinned comments right after the video is posted. We'll see, but I like the under here. The last one, Evan Mobley over 29.5 points plus rebounds. It's not a best bet because taking an over in this game, it scares me because it's an absolute blowout potential. Wizards are always going to get blown out or could get blown out in any game, but now they're without Koulibaly, Alex Sarr, Chris Middleton. Mobley going to be playing probably a lot at the 5 here again with Jared Allen out. In the 5 games without Jared Allen, with Garland and Mitchell, though, Mobley is over this in 3 of 5 games, averaging averaging 32.8 PRs per game. He has 33 plus PRs in all 3 overs. He was in the 2 unders, by the way. He was right at 28 in both, so really solid floor here. He did facing the Wizards. We know they're awful against centers. We just talked about it in the earlier part of this video. They've given up the second most points, second most rebounds to power forwards or to centers, or top 3, somewhere in that range. I didn't write the numbers down. You saw earlier, they cannot protect the paint. Marvin Bagley is their center. It is not pretty without Alex Sarr. It's not pretty with Alex Sarr, honestly, on defense. So even in a blowout, I think he has a chance to go over this line. Again, the blowout is my one worry. He did play Washington in just 28 minutes on a blowout earlier this year. He had 28 PRs. So that's what I got. Those are my 3 leans for the Friday slate. Now it is time for the best bets. All right, before we get to the best bets, it is time for that KALSHI trade of the day. That's right. You guys are missing out if you are not a part of this website. The link is below to sign up. If you use that link to sign up, you deposit your first $100, you get a $20 bonus credit. But I mean, guys, you can bet on anything in the world. It's absolutely crazy. Like you see there's a ton of different topics you want to do: economics, sports, movies, music, culture, different things like that. I mean, it's crazy, and it keeps growing and growing. Kalshi is a huge prediction market. It's federally regulated in all 50 states, and we're going to do a little trade of the day here for you. In fact, we're going to do it about a lean we just talked about. It's not official quite yet, but I'm going to make it official on Kalshi at least. So we're going to go to the Chicago and Charlotte game like we just talked about. And you know what? You know where I got to go if you just listen to the leans. So you can see you can pick the winner there or spread, or we can change it. And we're going to go closest we can get here is 235.5. It says over 235.5, which means no because we like the under like we just talked about. So we're going to pick no, 53 cents a contract here. I'm just going to sprinkle $4. Again, I got a lot of futures and different bets out there right now. So I'm going to sprinkle $4. Again, if I make it actually official, you'll see it in the pinned comments below, website and all that. But that's what I like. You guys already know why I like it. 2 under teams lately, and I think it goes under yet again. So that's what I got for my Kalshi trade of the day. Now it's time for the best bets. This first one takes us out to San Francisco, where the Warriors host the Minnesota Timberwolves. Warriors minus 3.5. Total in this one is 228.5. I got a player prop, half unit play here. Next one's going to be 1 unit, but it's a guy who's been getting more minutes lately. Give me Quentin Post over 15.5 PRAs, minus 119 on DraftKings. It's not available in a lot of books, so unfortunately, DraftKings is the only line I can give you right now. But I like this one. I know Steph is back here. He's going to take some volume here. But Draymond Green and Al Horford are both out. So in games with both of those guys out, as you can see by this outlier screenshot, over this line in all 4 games, averaging 23.25 PRAs per game, absolutely crushing it. Also averaging 28 minutes per game. That's what I wanted to see. It's solid. He's going to be getting some minutes because of the injuries. He's averaging 7 3-point attempts per game in those 5 games. He's a stretch 5 for this Warrior team. Also averaging a solid 12.3 rebound chances, 4.5 potential assists. Not a bad number there to add a few assists. So I'm getting a guy, who's got really good potentials here at a low line of 15.5 PRAs. And he's facing the T-Wolves. Gobert's not a guy who's trying to defend the perimeter and stretch 5s or anything like that. Obviously more of a rim protector, but just overall the Wolves, interesting. T-Wolves have been average for points and rebounds allowed to centers. You didn't see them on any of the pages before because they're kind of right in that middle ground. And then we got a game script of 4.5 point spread. So we should avoid a blowout. Love the minutes, love the volume. 28 minutes per game. Again, nice potentials here. I like it. Give me Q over 15.5 PRAs as my first best bet. All right, this next one takes us out to Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Hornets host the Chicago Bulls. Bulls minus 2.5. Total is 233.5. Now, we just talked about this game, how I lean the under here, but I got a player prop. It's 1 unit. It is Miles Bridges over 12.5 rebounds plus assists, minus 125 on FanDuel. If you can only get 13.5 by the time you watch this, I still like it there. Here's the deal. I was looking all over for Miles Bridges stats, and I was analyzing each one. At first, I liked the points. Then I liked the whole package with the PRAs. And then I ended up just going rebounds and assists. And I'll tell you why I ended up here. First of all, LaMelo and Sexton are both out, like we talked about in the leans. He's only played 2 games this year without LaMelo and Sexton, as you can see by this outlier screenshot. Yeah, he went over pretty easily. 19 and 17 RAs in both games. The 19 was in a fast-paced game versus Miami, and guess what? We got a fast-paced game here against the Chicago Bulls. Now, the wild part, in those 2 games, his potential rebounds and assist numbers, 25 and 31. That is absolutely, if you're getting around 25 to 30 potentials, you're going to get a higher line than this one. But again, it's a 2 game small sample size, but over the season, still a guy who averages 17.4 potential RAs per game. Obviously jumps up way up with those two players out. He's going to be handling the point, and he's facing the Bulls. I already mentioned it to you. Not only do they play fast, they're an awful rebounding team. They allow a ton of assists. They've allowed the eighth most rebounds to power forwards this year, allowing a lot of assists to ball handlers. Again, you can't really look at assists to power forwards here because Miles Bridges is going to be kind of that point forward role in this game. And we saw Siakam, who's a guy who plays a little bit like that. He faced the Bulls twice recently. He had 11 and 13 RAs in those games. And oh, by the way, he's on a team that actually has point guards like Nemhart and other guys like that. Right now, Miles Bridges is on a team that doesn't have guys like that. We also saw Clowney get 9 RAs when his line was 6.5 against the Bulls. So finally, without LaMelo last season, he did average 21.4 potential RAs per game as well. I like this one. I think the line is too low. Again, I think he can score here. He can get to the rim. The Bulls cannot protect the paint. But eventually, I just landed on the RA. So give me Miles and Miles of Bridges over 12.5 rebounds plus assists for 1 unit. That is my second and final best bet on the video. I will have probably at least 2 added plays. They'll be in the pinned comments below. Of course, they go to the website, justabetoutside.com first. Email to all those, and I post that link here, and you guys can get that for free as well. So that's what I got for Friday slate before we get out of here. Let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. My 2 best bets so far. Again, if you just fast forward to this, I also gave out 3 leans as well. But Quentin Post over 15.5 PRAs for a half unit, and Miles of Bridges over 12.5 rebounds plus assists, minus 125 on FanDuel. That is a 1-unit play with added plays coming in the morning. Thank you guys for watching. As always, really appreciate it. Again, go check out that Week 15 NFL game bets video when you get a chance as well. But hope you have a great Friday, and we'll talk to you soon.